Rylanor, I'm glad to see you alive and well.
Well, well, Teras. And who's that behind you there?
This is Elaine, from Cornea's Liberation Army. I only stand here now thanks to their aid.
What a wonderful stroke of luck.
What's gotten into you?
These verdant streets are a web you've walked straight into. And I, the spider at its heart.
We have to get out of here. Now.
To me, men! This day is the last we'll ever suffer these flies and their ceaseless buzzing. Let not a one leave alive. Forgive me for what I've done. I've allowed myself to be bridled like a horse on a cart, and placed my countrymen in grave danger. But more than that, I swung my blade at the very woman I swore my life to protect.
Stand, Rylanor. You've groveled long enough.
There's no such thing. How else am I to atone for this failure?
You have done nothing which demands atonement. It was only due to your devout loyalty that Zenora saw reason to control you. And consider what future might have befallen us had you not helped me flee to the Winding Wood. For one, I would never have enlisted the aid of the Liberation. Nor would we have rescued my beloved Vinisa from Zenora's foul clutches. If anything, I should have come to your side sooner. I hope you can forgive me that misstep.
How could you say such things? And yet, your kindness only makes my flame for you burn brighter. I pledge my life to you anew, should you only accept it.
Those damned rebels have ruined everything. And unfortunately, the witch is far too cunning to let them slit her throat so easily. If she tells Galerius of what's happened, we'll find ourselves in even hotter water.
I don't mean to challenge you, Lord Gailey, but what are you hoping to accomplish by staying here?
Simple-minded fool. We're the last survivors of an army defeated. Say we ran home to Zenora with our tails tucked tightly between our legs. What do you think would become of us?
What are you implying, sir?
We'd be executed.
No, I don't want to die!
I have a family back home.
Enough of your blubbering. Even if we wanted to escape Elheim, we would have no way of making it through that cursed Winding Wood. No. What we need to do now is secure a new route in instead. The witch may not have found it a tasteful method, but the way to shatter their spell is simple enough.
This blaze is uncontrollable.
Such foul disrespect for nature. If Ervelda is lost, the Fae... No, this very land will perish with it.
Then we must see this inferno extinguished. We should hurry.
Sorry, Lord Gailey, but this is as far as you go.
Feckless swine! You dare betray me!
You said it yourself, sir. Our heads would be hoisted on pikes if we crawled back to Zenora empty-handed. Which is why we'll bring them a nice offering instead.
Fools! You truly think my rotting corpse would convince them to let you live? Your hands are just as tarnished by this failure as mine. Luckily for you, I know a way to wash them clean and earn your freedom in the process.
Save your lies for the damned. Perhaps they'll be willing to listen. Now, go peacefully, will you? It's clear you're struggling to even stand as it is.
Witless curse. I would never yield to the likes of you.
Then I've no choice but to make you yield!
It seems we're too late. 'Tis a lamentable end to perish at the hand of your own soldiers.
Come to laugh at my demise, have you? Go on then. Mock me all you want.
I'd rather get some answers instead. Do you remember what you said the day you expelled me from the Order? No matter how mundane the scandal, Cornea must be shielded from its corroding touch. And with that, I was out. Barred from the very faction I had worked all my life to reach. What happened to the man so firmly dedicated to the betterment of his kingdom?
Open your eyes. That same man lies dying before you.
Tell me, Gaily, for what purpose did you forsake the throne? You surely knew that Sir Joseph and Prince Elaine lived on. Why abandon them and cast your fickle allegiance at Zenoira's feet?
To me, there exists no Cornea without Queen Elenia at its helm. Our kingdom perished the moment she did.
All the more reason to aid her son, to build Cornea anew with Her Majesty's own flesh and blood.
To the gates of hell with her son. The boy's cursed father left this world, yet lacked the grace to leave Elenia's heart with it. Besides, what right have you to denounce my deeds? I stood as my queen's shield until the bitter end. Whereas you, Joseph, you fled like the coward you are.
By the mercy of the stars, Ervelda is safe once again. And we have you to thank for it, Prince.
I'm only glad it didn't meet any serious harm. But I have to wonder, why did Gaily wish to burn it down?
Our divine tree has grown for millennia, steadily accumulating an immense amount of magical energy. That energy, the vital essence of life itself, is bestowed through its boughs to all beings small and large throughout this land. Beings such as the Fae, who use its power to protect our home from the impurities of the outside world.
They're the ones responsible for the Winding Wood.
Come to see the tree, Yana.
I wanted to pay my respects, yes. It's not often you get to gaze upon the divine. But as I was saying, the Winding Wood plays host to an almost immeasurable swarm of fairies. They live in its greenery, rustling its branches and leaves, and in so doing, numbing the senses of any who try to pass. They've set armies astray, and debilitated others who wished harm on Elheim. In a way, they're nature's own self-defense system.
But were we to lose Ervelda, we would lose the Fae along with it.
The monster. Such wanton destruction, all to clear the path for Zenoira's advance.
I suspect it was Alcina who kept the man from his maniacal schemes until now. After all, she too would be left devoid of the Fae's power if the tree had burned. Either way, I'm glad it remains as lush as ever.
And we have you and your army to thank for that. I truly couldn't be more grateful. It's just as we expected. Not a soul in sight. What could possibly have happened here?
Baltro, I should have known this was your doing.
Why such hostility? I've merely prepared the warmest of welcomes for my honored guests. The locals are just dying to greet you, with nothing but the finest hospitality. Well, their awakened corpses are.
stay on your guard, Yonisa.
Ah, if it isn't Eltelinda, I see they've lifted the spell. What ill fortune for you. Newly restored, only to serve as the main course in a banquet of flesh and blood.
Oh, Gerard.
Are you sure this is wise, Your Majesty? Most kings wouldn't vacate their palace in search of mere sightseeing.
The minister will manage more than fine in my absence. He always does.
It must be nice having such a capable aide in your service.
Nice. The man amends every word of every document I write. What good is my lifting the pen at all? Not to mention, he governs the royal appeals. If the egoist wants to be king so bad, I say let him. And despite my father's retirement, he's still very much alive and exerting his influence. Making me little more than a crowned ornament in someone else's court. One who spends most of his time being scolded by those who hold the reins. In any case, travel is where my heart truly lies. I want to see this land for myself, her people, her towns. And I want to do so with my own eyes, not through faded paintings and narrow castle windows. Only then will I know how best to rule as king.
And that's why you've absconded without so much as a word of where you're going. The minister will be furious, you know. Just imagine the lecture that awaits your return.
But that's where you come in, my darling. I'll simply claim you whisked me halfway around the world in one of your devilish antics.
You wouldn't dare. You're late. So, what now? That accursed ring has undone the magic we worked so hard to realize.
A trivial setback, seeing as the sanctuary lies in ruins.
You say that now, but I'm the one who cleared your path into Elheim. Surely you haven't forgotten what I demanded in return?
You asked for a spell, and you were given it.
Huh. And I'm saying it's lost its value to me.
Only for a moment. The rebels die here, and with them, the ring's influence.
Just see to it that the seer survives the slaughter. I've need of her. Alive.
Onerous wench. A shame these cadavers only bear so much self-restraint.